Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CRM Analytics video session 64. Okay, so in today's video, we will actually learn, what is the permission set license which is required, as well as what are the different permission sets which we have, and how also you can create certain custom permission set if required, if you want to view certain things in a particular way. Okay, so always remember, because at the end of the day, this is a license which you need to purchase by default. You won't get it in your Salesforce developer org. Okay, so of course, we are using a free org. That's why by default we have the permission set license. And I think maybe I should have covered this part in earlier sessions, but again, not an issue. Let's try to understand this now, because whenever you go into any interview, or let's say if you're first time coming into Salesforce Einstein, or let's say you didn't get an opportunity to work much in Salesforce Einstein, and you want to give any interview, right? Then the thing is that over there you have to understand what are the, I mean, this is the basic question the interviewer is going to ask, like, what is the permissions as license which you use? Okay. So, anyways, let's cover it in this session. Okay. Now, before I jump into it, I wanted to actually tell you that there is a particular article, like in the earlier video, we have done a complete revision, right, or recap of all the compute expressions in SQL, whatever functions which you can use. So there's a beautiful article actually written. Okay. So let me write over here, compute expression, Einstein Analytics. And just search it as simply SFDC. Okay, just search with this. Okay, and I think it's probably this one. Fine. So there's some SQL samples in compute expression, and it is written over here in simply SFDC. Okay, this is the website I feel. And over here, if you come, there's a lot of functions which you can see. Okay, so you have this text, role name, how we find the current date, how we actually do the substring operation, what does the length does. I think this length part I will explain you once we come to the flattened node. Okay, how this case function is used. Okay, how we check the is null part, is not null part, and not as alternative. Okay, and not simple bucketing kind of thing which we do. Okay, then how we can neglect certain text and not neglected case text, all these things. Okay, no boolean type, all these things. Fine, you can actually check this. Okay, it's a beautiful article. Then they have explained the days between date. Okay, date to date, what is date underscore div, right? All this past date. There are a few more articles. Then date to epoch, what is the meaning of round? Okay, which I also applied. Okay, so that's the thing, how we use this like functions. I have also used, right, substring. Okay, numbers to text, how we does that with this number to string, filter by date, this date range. Okay, it's a beautiful article over here. I mean, you can take the help of Google and you can come to this particular article where you will actually get to know what are the different kind of functions which we use in SQL in compute expression node, and you can refer this and practice this well if you want to get to know a little bit more in details. But yeah, anyhow, I have also actually taken the help of this article for sure, and I've explained most of the scenarios which I could not think of. But let's say if you want to continue a few more, you can always refer this, as well as you can refer the analytics setup, right? Analytics link as well, which analytics developer normally use. Fine, to learn a little bit more in details. But in my project experience, in my practical experience, I feel I have covered most of them, and I think that will be enough. But in case you have curiosity to learn more, you can always refer those articles. Okay. Anyways, now coming to this topic, always remember the permission set license which we use. Okay, so whenever you are creating a free org, you will always see, like if you go to your users, and if you go to this user details. Okay, now here you see this permission set license assignment. Okay, so you always need this permission set license. Remember this permission set license, which is nothing but CRMatics plus. So in case they ask you like what is the permission set license which is required, you have to tell them that this is the license which is required, that is CRMatics plus license. If it is not there, then definitely you won't be able to view the Analytics Studio or whatever thing. I mean, you won't be able to get the permission set. Okay, so that's the first thing which you have to inform. Fine. And the next part is this permission set, right? The permission set, there are two kinds of permission set which you may have. One is the CMatics plus admin. Okay. So let's see, if I go to this permission set once, let me click on edit assignment. So I think the permission set license, you right now know it, CMatics plus. and the permission set which you require, there are two kinds of permissions. One is CMAtics plus admin. Okay, there is something called as CMAtics plus user. These are the two things. Now, what happens in admin? So let's say I click on the CMAtics plus admin. Now, what are the features? What are the things which you can do in CMAtics plus admin? And let me do one thing. Let me duplicate this as well, because I wanted to open the CMAtics plus user as well. Okay. So now if we go to the system permission, right? So as you can see, these are all the system permission which you will have. So any kind of permission set which you have, always go to system permission. You will get to see what are all the features which you get via that permission set. Okay, so this is the default permission set. So what are the two default permission set which you get from Einstein-Dix? These are the two things: CMAtics plus admin and CMAtics plus user. Okay, now these are the things. You can see almost everything is enabled. You can add CMS remote connection. The fact that I was able to add is because of this permission. I can create any dashboard. Anyways, we will come to the dashboard later. We can download any CMS data if required. We can edit the dataset recipes. Okay, and we can use CMS template types. Okay, now these are the something which are there in CMS plus admin. Similarly, there's something called as CMAtics plus user. Okay, so we will check what are the things which we can do by that. So you see this CMAtics plus user. Okay, so now if I go to the system permission, so under the CMAtics plus user, you see these are the permissions which you now if you see properly over here, if you compare this to, you see whatever permissions you see over here, which ideally comes under CMAtics, everything is enabled. Okay, maybe except a few things like which is like manage automous inside data privacy and subscribe to CMAtics asset. Maybe these two are not there, but other than that, if you see all the things are enabled. However, if you come to the CMAtics plus user, right, you see very few things are enabled. For example, you can't do the remote connectors. Like the way I was able to connect the remote data, they won't be able to do this. Whoever have this permission, fine. Then they can't create any CMAtics app. Okay, they can't edit the dataset recipe. Fine. See, this is not enabled. So let's consider only one example. Of course, you can cross-check everything. That's fine. But I will actually explain you what is the difference between these two by taking one of the point into consideration. For example, I won't be able to edit the dataset recipes. Now, see over here. If I go to Analytics Studio, okay, if I go to Data Manager, if I go to Manage Data Flow, if I go to Data Flows and Recipe, I can open any one of them, right? I can create recipe, I can open any one of them and do the specific transformation. I can add any kind of notes which I want. Okay, so that happens because I have that CMAtics plus admin. Okay, now let's say if somebody has 70 plus. Okay, now before that, I wanted to show you what are the total number of license which you have. See, at the end of the day, is a license you have to purchase, and there's a specific number of what to say permission set which you get. Okay, if you utilize that part, then definitely it gets over. So how many users can be assigned all those information, like with this license, what I can do is there's something called as company ownership, because although this is a free org, but there's a limitation, and that's why it's called a free org, right? There will be a limitation to it. Otherwise, any company could have just used this free org and they could have dealt with their own data. Okay, so there's something called as company information. Okay, just hover over there to company information, and here you will get to see all the user license, the permission set license, right? Okay, for example, this CMAtics plus, this is the permission set license which you require to view your Salesforce Einstein Analytics or Salesforce CMAtics. Is actually given what are the total license which is there. Okay, so under this free org, currently I have two license. Similarly, when you purchase this license, you have to see how many number of license have they purchased. Okay, so when you're working for any company who are into CMAtics, see, all the users may not be able to view the Analytics Studio. Remember that you might be using a developer. When you purchase this license, you'll be able to see the Analytics Studio, but not all users may be able to see. Okay, and not all users can be given this because this comes under extra cost. Okay, so this is the free org. Here I have two license, and here actually it's showing how many licenses I have used, which means I still have one used license. I have one remaining license. So any other user, I can still give this license. Okay. However, the thing is that maximum two only I can use. I can't use more than two. Okay. So in the company information, you will get to find such information, okay, related to license, permissions license. I've shown you for CM and Express. Okay. Soon you can find for others. That's not an issue. Okay. Now, let's say I have this example of Laura Gaza, right? There's a person called Laura Gaza. Okay. Laura Gaza. Now for Laura Garza, if you see, I have not given him this permission, right? What I will do is I will first of all give Laura Garza this permission set. Okay, so let me give her this permission set, that is CRM plus user. Okay. Okay, let me give her this license, that is CRM plus, fine. And let me just first of all save it. Okay. Now, once I save it, what I'm going to do is basically I will also give her, see, I'm the system admin, so I can give any user any kind of license. Okay. So I've given him this permission set license. What I'm next going to do is I will actually give her this permission set. Okay. Where is that permission set? Yeah, permission set assignment. So right now, instead of giving this plus admin, I will give him this CMAtics plus user. Okay. So now we will see what's the difference between these two license. Okay. So now this is given to her. Okay. So let me refresh this and let's check if that license is properly given. So if you see here, this is given. Now, this is my admin. I mean, this is how I'm logged in, right? As an admin. And I have shown you that I can view the recipes and data flow, which is completely fine. Okay. Now let's say if I log in with this users, fine. Let's say Laura Garza. Okay. Now I've logged in as Laura Garza. As you can see at the top, it's showing, and this profile also is showing as Laura Garza. Okay. Now the thing is that let me click on this. Okay. And I will be able to view the Analytics Studio right now under Laura Garza as well when I logged in, because I gave her that permission set license, which is completely fine. But you see the beauty right now with that permission set CM Analytics plus user, what will be the difference? Okay, I'm just showing you one of the difference. You can walk through that complete part and you can see for other difference. See, here they are able to see these things, but if you properly observe, I'm not able to see the data manager. Okay, I'm not able to see that. Fine. And even if I go from here, yeah, that particular thing is actually not there. So see, I'm able to see these things, but I'm not able to see the data manager. If you remember, there was one of the reasons, right? So here you have this particular, you have, I can edit the dataset recipe. I mean, sorry, this is CMX plus user. This particular button is not enabled for them. Edit datasets recipes. Okay. Then also edit CMX data flow. See, it's this, at the end of the day, data layer is something they can't be able to edit or create. And that's why automatically when I logged in with Laura Garza, I don't see that option only of data manager. So it's not confusing. It's nothing wrong with this product. It's just that you're not given that appropriate permission set. Okay. So be very careful with this. So there are two kind of permission set under CMAtics plus, I mean, CMAtics plus license, which is CMAtics plus admin and CMAtics plus user. As in CMAtics plus admin, just like as a system admin, you can do various aspects. I mean, almost all the stuffs which you can think of related to CMAtics. With CMAtics plus user, there is very specific stuff like you can view the data sets, lenses, dashboards, but you won't be able to edit it. And especially the data layer, you won't be able to edit that. Okay. So let's say if there's a somebody working in your company, I mean, who has the role of a tester, then, like he or she needs to test the applications, then definitely they don't require the data layer at all, right? So they just need to view the dashboard. In that case, they can be given this CMAtics plus user. Okay. And similarly, you can actually kind of clone this permission set. Okay. So I have logged in Logger where you can clone this permission set and give some default permission sets, disable a few permissions if required. Okay. So yeah, that's it about this video. Please definitely do like, share, and subscribe. And let's meet very soon in the next one. Thank you.